Hello and welcome to the Pittsburgh Land Bank Board meeting for Friday, February 11th, 2021. The first thing we will do is call the roll. We'll ask Emily if she would please call the roll.
Reverend Ricky Burgess.
Here.
Dr. Bay.
Here.
Councilman Lavelle.
Here.
Senator Wayne Fontana.
Here.
Councilman Wilson.
Here.
Director Mazza.
Here.
Director Wilson.
Here.
And Director Breen.
All right, how many we have present? We have
7 of 8 members present, 4 board members present physically.
Thank you very much. That means we have a quorum. The first thing is the minutes of February. There has already been emailed to you. You should have a chance to review them. There's public comment. I'm sorry. Public comment. Is there anyone from the public that wants to address the land bank meeting? I didn't see anybody online, but maybe I'm mistaken. Is there anyone? There's no one in the chambers. Is there someone online?
Gordon Davidson from the Mount Washington Community Development Corporation.
Thank you very much. You'll be given 3 minutes to speak. If you would start.
I'm going to try to make this simple. It appears that the first sale of a property from the land bank is in Mount Washington, which is our service area. And we're concerned that the process for getting information to the community about the sale is not as complete as it could be and might be too difficult for most people to understand and or process. And we're hoping that maybe we can work with the land bank to make that process simpler and more open. That's it.
Thank you very much. Certainly we'll get back to you and have that conversation. Is there anyone else online? Oh, ain't twice. Is there anybody else online or anyone who wants to address this board of directors meeting? Seeing none, now that takes us to our formal agenda. The first is the approval of the February minutes. The minutes have been mailed to you. Is there a motion to approve the February minutes?
So moved.
Is second?
Second.
Any conversation? Seeing no conversation, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Who's nay? All right, I have no new items to bring to the table. That takes us to the executive director's report, and then I will turn it over to Emily and to Mr. Jones, and they will now go through this process for us.
Good afternoon, all. My name is Kenneth M. Jones Jr., affectionately known as Ken. I am here in Director Walker's stead. She had an emergency and is unable to be with us today. I will go over a quick recap through the executive director's update to give you a quick view of what the recap of our 2022 strategic planning session was, the board retreat, which was held last Friday. And I'd like to thank the members who were able to make the retreat, whether in person or online. It was a good thing. I can say that people were able to talk to each other, talk about things, and decide which directions things could go in the future. That being said, here's what happened at that retreat. Board members prioritized affordable housing as the first tenant that we would be looking at as a land bank. Second, many of the board members desire greater community involvement in the form of increased partnership with the Vacant Properties Working Group and the Pittsburgh Community Reinvestment Group, because to the land bank and to the URA, community involvement and inputs, especially what you would like to see and what lines those should go along, are very important to us. Board members expressed interest again in bringing back a former subcommittee dedicated to the Pittsburgh Property Reserve 2.0, which will be how different properties are pulled to the side and held for CDCs and other groups who have community projects that are ongoing that fit into community plans. And last but not least, the board expressed consensus on pushing the PLB to transacting land, specifically regarding clearing titles to problem properties as quickly as possible. One of the things coming forth with the possible ARPA allocation is how are those used? What are they for? The board believes one of, and particularly their top priority would be clearing titles to problem properties so that they can get out into the public and return to a viable and productive use and return to the tax rolls as well. Updates quickly for the GRB law contract. For those who do not know, the Land Bank has formed a pact with the city in which services are donated, which allow the GRB Law Group, who also works with the Tri-County Land Bank, to be able to clear titles to help to move this process forward. We have a number of vacant parcels, so we're trying to do the best we can to move those. The first 12 of those petitions to quiet title in a priority property reserve process are now moving forward. Those have been ordered, and we will know more in the next coming weeks as to the quality and what we need to do and how fast we can advance those first 12. On to the land bank disposition process. The authorization of the acquisition of 6 Boggs Avenue from the URA to PLB ownership is something that that's an action item that will come before the board. Also, authorization to enter into a purchase and sale agreement with Ms. Sandra Fundy for the disposition of 6 Boggs as well. Ms. Fundy, according to all metrics that the land bank was able to use, quantify and qualify, is a qualified end user according to the rules and regulations of the PLB. And the goal is Ms. Fundy's goal is to bring this back to productive use as quickly as possible and to do things within the zoning and applicable parameters available on that property. And she's demonstrated the necessary knowledge, capacity, and financial ability to take the project forward, given her track record of developing a minimum 10 properties that we've seen her do over the past 10 years. With that said, I am now complete. And if there are questions to be had, or I don't know exactly the process, if not, we can move forward to the finance report.
So there's been conversations about this internally with staff and with board members. I need a motion, first of all, for the authorization to acquire 6 Boggs Avenue from the URA. Is there such a motion?
I moved.
A second. Any conversation? No conversation. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposers, nay. All right. Second of all, is the second action, you want to explain it, Emily, or?
So our board of directors received into the board package material a director's report regarding the sale of 6 Boggs Avenue and the opportunity to enter into an agreement of sale with Miss Sandra Fundy. The PLB board of directors have read about the history of this property, which came into PLB disposition process in early 2021 and have since been the subject of a lot of conversations about piloting the land bank's land transaction policy and overall land recycling process in the city of Pittsburgh. The board of directors have read about Ms. Fundy's qualifications in a board briefing in 2021 and have continued to receive timely updates on that process. The land bank and URA shared staff believe strongly that Ms. Sandra Fundy is a qualified end user whose goal is to bring the property back to productive use as quickly as possible, and therefore has demonstrated the necessary knowledge, capacity, and ability to take on this project.
Thank you very much. Now we need a motion to enter into purchase and sales agreement with Ms. Sandra Funding for the disposition of 6 Boggs Avenue. I need a motion.
Move.
Need a second. Any conversation? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposers, nay. Thank you very much. That brings us to the financial report.
Good afternoon, members of the board. As you can see in your board packet, there is a
balance sheet and income statement as of February 28th. There are no major changes in the month of February. We paid one invoice that was due to the URA for 2021's administration fee that was shown to you prior. Everything else was discussed at the retreat that Mr. Jones was just speaking of. So I will pause here if there are any questions.
Any conversation about the financial report? This does not need a motion to approve. It's simply an acknowledgement and received. That takes us to the next order of business, which is the legislative update.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. One other thing. There was one other item on the agenda. I apologize for cutting you off. This was just an informational item that we wanted the board to be aware of. We ran out of time at the board retreat. Prior members had asked about the accounting of the PLB. We have gone and got a quote from a company, a reputable company that other affiliates of the URA use. That quote is provided to the board for informational purposes. At this point, it would be my advice. There's no necessary need to go through that. They are transaction based for their cost, and there's very few transactions in the PLB right now. But just for the board's knowledge, that would be a comparable quote. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that second informational item, and sorry for cutting you off. Is there any questions? If not, that takes us to the next agenda item, which is a legislative update. Senator Fontana, you're up next.
Thank you, Reverend Burgess. We're still in the Senate, in the House. We're still in appropriation hearings, so there's no committee meetings scheduled. These bills are bogged down in political maneuvering more than anything else. But we're trying to come up with another scenario, possibly to use it as an amendment to another bill or another in the House that we can amend it into to try to get this done. So we are looking at other avenues to try to move it along, but that won't happen. We don't get back to March 28th to start back in session. And that'll go on till obviously the end of June. So we're hoping to find another way to do this rather than have the bill stand alone, to be quite honest. So we'll see what happens, and we'll keep working on it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And as always, you are a rare treasure, both to our area and to this board. Is there any new business? Seeing none, that leads us to the end of our meeting with public comment. Is there at the end of the meeting, anybody online for additional statements, having heard us deliberate? If not, everyone stay safe today because of the snow that is coming and the cold weather that the temperatures are going to plummet. So stay warm, stay safe, stay indoors. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody.